Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Philadelphia 76ers take care of business at home against the Toronto Raptors, 132-97. Complete and utter blowout. Definitely not what we were expecting here on this channel. I got to eat crow. I got to sit here and be salty because my prediction was trash. It was complete and utter garbage. My entire point of view on this series was not accurate at all. My thought was that the Toronto Raptors were the better team, and that was proven to be unequivocally false. When it came down to it, the Toronto Raptors had the home court. Toronto Raptors had a close game at the half, and the Toronto Raptors came out of the third quarter not prepared for what happened to them, which was an onslaught of just good plays run by the Philadelphia 76ers on both sides. When you consider that Joel Embiid played well, gave him 33 points. He had, I think, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 10 rebounds. Just bulled through that thumb injury and gave his team what they needed. You got to look at James Harden and just take your hat off to the Hall of Famer there. 15 huge assists, being a great facilitator, which he is not given enough credit for on this channel. That is what he can contribute to. When he's not efficient, he's still giving you upwards of 10 assists. He's been doing it with the Nets. He's been doing it with the Sixers, and he needs to be given his credit. JJ Redick made it very clear to all of us that James Harden should not be considered a liability because of his playmaking execution on this team, and I see that. It was clear his playmaking can help this team in areas that certainly make others better. You look at a guy like Tobias Harris, was able to play well again. He bounced back from his bad game. I believe he had 19 points. You look at Tyrese Maxey, was fantastic. Also had 8 big assists and 20-something points. I don't remember exactly. But he bounced back from his game where he wasn't his best. You just saw the Philadelphia 76ers starters come out and say, we're going to win this game. We don't care if we get anything from our bench. We don't care if anybody shows up from the Toronto side or not. We don't care about nothing. We're going to play our best. We're going to leave it all on the line. And if Toronto's able to overcome that, they could go on ahead and try to do it again. But we're not going to allow them to come into this arena feeling good about themselves when it's time to leave. So that's what I saw there. Philadelphia 76ers who put all the chatter to bed, who saved his Doc's backside once again, keeping him from setting record and blowing the first 0-3 lead in the history of the league. He only blew 2 games. So it's not as bad as it was appearing to look, and he will have a chance at the Miami Heat. As to which we'll talk about that later. Now, on the Toronto side, I like what I saw out of Boucher. Boucher came through big, had a double-double out there. I said he needed to get more involved with the offense, and he did that. He had his best game of these playoffs today. I said Pascal Siakam needed to not disappear, and he didn't do that. He showed up, gave him some good points. Gary Trent showed up as well, had some good scoring efforts. I don't have everybody's point total in my head for some reason for the Toronto Raptors, but I definitely know who contributed. And, ultimately they played a good half of basketball in the first half. And in the second half of basketball, they didn't show up at all. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but something happened when they went in the locker room. When they came out, their body language was different, and they didn't have the same effort on the defensive end. I don't know what it was, but something happened. It was a shift. And for the Philadelphia 76ers, there was no shift. They shifted into overdrive and was playing loose, playing with one another. The assist total was impressive. They had over 35 assists as a team. As noted by those 2 players having huge assists, you could just clearly see a team decided to play well, play with one another, and as a result, played well. And I said, played loose. Tyrese Maxey letting it fly. Danny Green, I think he had 3 or 4 threes, huge, couple steals as well. Champ was excellent tonight. Paul Reed, who we've talked about on this channel, had 4 for 5. He was very efficient, very, very needed since the bench hadn't been doing well. They needed something tonight, and they got it from him. So you can just clearly see, the Philadelphia 76ers star players were stars tonight. All of them understood the assignment, and they did what they needed to do to take care of business. They were not listening to the chatter. They were not worried about the matchups. They were not worried about what the situation looked like. They just understood that if they played their best, they could beat a team that they were better than. And that was it. That was literally it. Regardless of what I thought, anybody else thought. I personally didn't believe that the Philadelphia 76ers are better than Toronto Raptors. And there's nothing for me to hold my hat on at this point. They handled them. They left no doubt in anyone's mind. They didn't leave us any room to say, well, if, maybe, kind of, none of that. I just got to sit here and live with that. And I was very demonstrative and very loud about how I felt the Toronto Raptors were favored to win this series throughout. And up until going into this game, even at halftime, I felt like they should win the game because they were favored. And you just had certain players just had already mailed it in. Some guys had already, set sail. OG Anunoby, I don't know where he was at tonight. Got nothing out of the guy. You look at Thaddeus Young. I know he's fighting back from injury, but he had a good game in the last one. Where was he tonight? Got nothing. So you just saw a lot of that kind of stuff on that team, and I don't know. I mean, I look in the comments section of the Toronto Raptors. Everybody's happy. They're all excited about how they ended their season well and pushing forward. So I guess that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Everybody's happy. You're happy. I'm happy. I have a different mentality because I'm a Laker fan that is spoiled, and even though I'm having a off season that's embarrassing and with the worst thing in the world, I'm still a spoiled fan that believes certain things that I'm entitled to in basketball. Like if I go out in the first round, there's no conversation like that. We're not applauding. There's nothing to be happy about. Like especially when I believe we were in a position to win. If I truly thought, which I think a lot of people did, that the Philadelphia 76ers should beat the Toronto Raptors, then I just feel like the rest of these fans do. I think most fans buy what they're told, and the Philadelphia 76ers prove what they're told. It's true by coming through and winning the series. So I guess I'm alone in thinking the Toronto Raptors should be scolded for not coming out and playing better and believing they could win this series, because I thought that on paper it showed that they should. They're faster than the players they went up against tonight. They should be better defensively than the players we went up against tonight. Joel Embiid is hurt, and they should have been able to take advantage of that, and they just, were satisfied going home. I mean, that's how I took it, man. I don't know. I'm looking at some of these teams, and I just feel like it's almost like politics are really controlling the NBA. I think some teams are legitimately coming into these first-round closeout games with no intention of winning. Like, even if the matchups favor them, even if they should have the confidence, even if they can, I'm getting the vibes that people are just like, you know what? No, we're supposed to move out of the way because Joel's supposed to move on to the second round, and that's it. It's just like the Bulls yesterday. It's like, no one's supposed to be upset. We're all happy that we made the first round. We're getting eliminated like we're supposed to because, of course, Giannis is supposed to move to the second round. I'm like, am I watching the freaking WWE or what? People are not even upset to be on to losers. Like, fans are happy, players are content, and I'm just sitting here like the only person who's really passionate about all this. Like, wow, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. I'm a different type of competitor. I think I really bought into the Mamba mentality as it pertains to basketball. I think I really bought into play to the last whistle. I'm like Alvarado and Patrick Beverly, and I don't believe in losing. I know that sounds stupid, but I literally don't believe it. I don't believe in conceding that I've lost. If I've lost, then that means that now I've switched my preparation for the next game, or I'm studying what I can from this game to get better. It's not. There's nothing to be proud of when you don't compete. And when you get blown out like the Toronto Raptors did at home, I believe you should be booed. I believe you should be booed off of the floor. I don't believe anybody should be singing your praises about the season you've had. I don't think people should be talking about, hey, hurrah, look at how good they are. Can't wait to see them next year, or none of that. I believe you should be booed because it was a closeout game. You're playing for your season. You're going up against professionals as professionals, and you let the score get out of hand to that degree for your playoff lives. And for me, I can't get with that. If I were in that position, I would be going crazy. So I guess that's just how I'm wired, and I'm learning to just accept people for their differences. And the Toronto fans seem to be content with getting beat by a Philadelphia team that should have been beaten tonight. And if they're cool with it, I'm cool with you. You feel me? Seriously. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm a Laker fan on the couch. We ain't doing nothing. You did better than us. But at the end of the day, if I'm y'all, ain't no way I'm satisfied, smiling, none of that. If I'm a Bulls fan, I'm livid. If I'm a Hawks fan, I'm livid. And if I'm a Toronto fan, I'm throwing stuff right now. Because ain't no way in hell we should have got blown out by a team that on paper we should have been blown out. Beat that team 2 games in a row. Got all the way back home to where you're supposed to be comfortable and get mollywopped. Unacceptable. But that's just in my world. Because it seems that everybody else's, it's absolutely fine. So congratulations to the Toronto Raptors on a fantastic season. Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year. All of that's cool, man. Fred VanVleet made an all-star team. This was a successful season if you have average hopes. That's what I got. BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.